Hello and welcome to this review of the Canvas interface for our PCOR 501 class. What I'd like to do is I'd like to show you some of the features of Canvas and how they relate specifically to how you can use Canvas efficiently for PCOR 501. So when you open Canvas, what you usually land on is the dashboard. And I'm going to go ahead and expand my global navigation so that it has the words here. First at the top will be your account. You probably won't use that very much unless you're uploading your avatar or your picture. And so other than that, the main ones that you'll use are the next 5. So when you open up Canvas, you end up on the dashboard. And if you have any assignment notifications or announcements, you'll see those here. And it will specifically list for our particular class. You can open those and show all of the list, or you can close them so that you have less busyness on your desktop. The next thing, you would actually go to our class, and so you would click on courses and then choose the one that you're in, and that would take you to our class. Let me finish the global navigation review first though. One of the things that you will be doing for this class is that you'll be working in groups, and a shortcut to get to your group home page is by clicking on the groups tab here on global navigation, and you can select the particular group that you're in, and that will take you directly to the group homepage rather than having to open the course and go to people and then click on teams and then go to that's just a lot more clicking. This groups will just take you directly to your group homepage anytime you know you need to work with your group. The next thing, and I think this is probably one of the most helpful things, and a lot of students don't know that it exists, is the calendar. If you click on the calendar link, and it takes a little bit to load because there's a lot of information in there, I'm sure. The calendar literally will show you on a day-by-day basis exactly what assignments you have. And this calendar, that's the global navigation calendar, is set up so that it is for all of your classes. So no matter what you are working on a particular day, you can see your calendar for that whole entire day for all classes in one place. So let's go ahead and move on to September, for example. For each of the different PCOR classes, you can see some of the assignments that are here. They all show up in different colors. So you'll see, you can set that up here, like here are the different classes that I'm working in as the instructor. If you want to choose that particular class, just click on the link and it will add a color to that. If you'd like to change the color of something that's already a color, then you can just simply choose a different color and apply it. These are the colors that I picked because they're easy for me to tell apart. And so if you make sure all of the classes you're currently in are set up in your calendar, then you can just click on any of those icons and it will take you directly to that assignment. You know exactly what kinds of things you have coming up today and tomorrow and maybe for the whole entire week and month upcoming so that you can plan your time well. The final thing in the global navigation I'd like to show you is the inbox. Now if you have a message for me or one of the other instructors or the TAs that is for us specifically, and it doesn't relate to the other people in the class, like let's say that you have something come up or that wouldn't be related, another student wouldn't have that same question for their situation. The inbox is where you would send a message, and so you can compose a message. I've archived mine, so you can't see any messages in here right now, but this will fill up over here on the left hand side and it will show the different messages that you've received from different people and whether you've read them or not. If you receive a message, then that will show up on your dashboard when you open Canvas. So let me go ahead, and if you like a more condensed global navigation and your computer has this option, you can minimize those so they don't have the words, but then they still pop up and tell you what they are if you got confused or forgot. So those are the main areas that in the global navigation that you would use. Let's go ahead and go to our course and take a look at the course navigation. Over here on the left hand side is you start off by landing on the home page. And you can see here we have a link to the calendar if you want to download a hard copy of the calendar. Also, if you need to ask the instructor a question, then go ahead and click there. And then what we try to do in P-Core is we set up this home page so that it has links to everything that you're going to need for that particular week. So for example, if you click on Welcome and Orientation, it will take you directly to that site where you can go through all of the orientation videos, which is what you're doing right now. Also, we have a link directly to the syllabus, to review Module 0, and any assignments are listed specifically over here under Assignments. And so then next week, when it's week 1, we'll put week 1 in here, and week 0 will scroll down to the bottom of your screen. So it'll still be there if you want to go and look for those links, but the newest information will always be on top so you don't end up scrolling as much. Next is announcements. We don't have any announcements posted quite yet, but as soon as there are, then you can look through past announcements and see any information that we've added as we go through the course. Next is syllabus, and this is where a lot of important information is kept for you, and we'll be going through that piece by piece in the next videos. And then modules is a place where all of the information for the course is set up so that you can go through it one piece at a time. So for example, if you wanted to go through and view, which is one of the assignments is to view all of the different pages, you would click here, and then at the bottom you can click next. You don't have to go back, in other words, to modules. You can just keep going through them by clicking on next, 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 and so forth. So under modules, what you'll see is a long list of modules, and one of the nice features is that you can, once you've viewed all of that, you can close it down so that you don't have to scroll so much as the quarter goes by. So then here's week 0, the different things that we have in there. You can see some of my modules are already closed. So module 1 has all of the content, so any topics that have videos or textbook readings or activities to do are in module 1. Modules 2, 3, and 4 are similar. Each of those modules spans about 2 weeks. And then we've also put the 2 team integrated projects up front so that you can get to those really easily without scrolling, because you'll want to keep those in mind as you're going through the assignments so that you know what you're working towards. Then on a week-by-week basis, all of the assignments that are due for that particular event are included. Now I want to point out some things. If you go back to let's say module 1, right here it tells you week 1. This icon here that is, if you hover over it, it says wiki page. It's just a page with writing on it and a little corner turned down. These icons can be really helpful so that you know exactly what you're getting into. This one looks similar to that page, but it has a little pencil next to it, and if you hover over it, it says assignment. So if you were to click on that, it would take you to an assignment. Also, there are these little rocket ships, and that's a symbol that means that that's going to be for a quiz. And so that will help you know what kind of thing you are looking for. And I don't think I have an example in this shell, but let me go find one in a different shell. There's one more icon that you should be familiar with, and that is the discussion icon. And you'll see that right here. It looks like 2 little speech bubbles, and one of them has little lines in it. So that's an icon for a discussion. So if you ever see that in the class, if we ever convert any of our assignments so that you can have discussions with other people, then that's what those are going to look like. So the discussions have that particular look. So the one last thing, and I think a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't until recently, is if your screen doesn't show a lot of area and you'd like to have more room, these little 3 lines allow you to hide the course navigation menu so that the whole screen over here to the left can be viewed by you, instead of having part of it taken up with this area. That's especially helpful if I was in a student view, I could, why don't I go ahead and do that? That's especially helpful when you are looking at the gradebook, because sometimes the information is crunched, and if you click on the hide navigation, it will give you more space in this area to be able to see your gradebook. Now, a couple of important things about the gradebook. This literally lists every single assignment that you have and the due date, and how you've done on it if it's been graded, or if it's in the future, what the due date is for that. Now, under status, if you have a little page or a picture, what that means is that you've submitted it. So you can always go here and check and see, well, did I submit that, or was it a different one that I submitted? You can always check and see the status of whether it's been submitted or not. And then once it's graded, then you'll see a score here in the score column, and it gives you the number of points possible and so forth. Also over here on the right hand side, it gives you the starting weights for each of the different areas, and we'll be doing an activity where the class gets to set the final weights for everyone for the remainder of the quarter. So that concludes our Canvas interface review. Next, we'll be looking at a little bit more at the details in the syllabus.